Hey, this is C&D channel. I'm Chris. This is MMA for you. I'm going to be doing my post-fight analysis for UFC 165, Jones versus Gustafsson. Overall, great card. Awesome main event. Nice finishes here. A couple TKOs. A couple KOs, actually. You know, McDessie, Thompson, Daniel Omazonk, whatever his last name is. Two submission victories. Arguably, the main event was like a fight of the year, to be honest with you. That was just a great fight. Overall, I thought it was a pretty good event. My picks were pretty good too. 10 out of 13. I missed Mitch Gagnon versus Dustin Kimura. Wilson Hayes versus Ivan Menjivar. And Francis Carmont versus Philippou. Okay, let's get started. John Jones defeated Alexander Gustafsson by unanimous decision. Scorecards of 2 48-47s and 1 49-46. A couple things about this fight, and just in general. I think that this may actually put a stop to the idea of John Jones moving to heavyweight. The guys hit hard. They're that big, that physical. They might be able to take Jones down, especially a guy like Velasquez. You know, you kind of got to put the brakes. In my opinion, I think you got to put the brakes on John Jones moving to heavyweight after this performance. I think something that some of the guys here on YouTube said, and a narrative that's actually been said before is John Jones' stand-up. Is it great in a technical level, or is it great because of other things? I think this fight kind of showed that he's definitely not the best boxer. His boxing is very rudimentary. His kicks are really good. He uses a lot of diversity. His elbows are still awesome. But a lot of the things he was doing, like when he stuck his hand out straight out to avoid getting punched and whatnot, it works against your like Rashad Evans, Rampage, Shogun. Does not work on Gustafsson. I mean, he just punched him back. It's kind of funny because a lot of people are making fun of the narrative coming into that that the UFC was advertising. Oh, the reach, the height, blah 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 blah. You know, and everyone, a lot of people scoffed at it. That's like, oh, that's the, and I scoffed at it too. So I'm eating crow here. Then he wants to fight. It's like, oh my god, this is. They were absolutely right. I mean, this is a factor. It is a big factor in this fight. I'll also say this. I don't think, looking at like guys like Phil Davis, Gilbert Teixeira, maybe even Daniel Cormier, I really don't get the impression that they can do that well against John Jones, that Alexander Gustafsson, as much success as Gustafsson had. I'm saying his name really bad too, Gustafsson. I think Gustafsson has the takedown defense, the ability to get back to his feet when it's taken down, the chin, the overall boxing and movement. Guys like Cormier, he has a good wrestling. He doesn't have that level of boxing. Glover, I mean, he does have decent inside boxing. Defensively, is a lot more to be desired. Phil Davis just doesn't have that stand-up. I think stylistically, Gustafsson's just a really tough matchup for John Jones. Anyone else in the light heavyweight division, I'm a bit, I honestly don't feel that they can threaten Jones like Gustafsson can. The other thing is, there is a good contingent of people that feel that Alexander Gustafsson, man, I am saying that last name right, Gustafsson, got the first 3 rounds, and that he should have won. I think that 49-46 scorecard, it's not too indefensible or anything like that, but it's definitely reaching. I think John Jones definitively got rounds 4 and 5. I think that the first 3 rounds were just really close rounds. I mean, they could have gone either way. I can't really say that Gustafsson definitively got... If he did definitively get rounds, I'd say it's maybe like rounds 1 and 3. Otherwise, they're not like Jones's rounds 4 and 5. As far as how the fight went, man, I mean, God, great fight. Gustafsson, he was moving along. The first, 3 rounds, you saw a lot of lateral movement. He kept away from the cage. He would, use a lot of hands, throwing a couple kicks in there, but got in his hand, and got hands, got a lot of punches in. Jones, especially in the first round, had a really hard time against the Gustafsson. I mean, he his usual tricks with the hands didn't work. He did, somewhere along the way, he did manage to get those elbows in there, but, they were tough going at first. Gustafsson was defending takedowns. Some of them were pretty deep, too, And Gustafsson even took John Jones down. I mean, it was amazing. It was really cool to see. Those first 3 rounds were really close. Rounds 4 and 5, though, a little more towards John Jones, but man, this Gustafsson, man, he's got a chin. I mean, this guy's getting clean head kicks and clean elbows sometimes. I mean, this guy just took it. He's still really young, too. I mean, these guys are going to meet in the future. And let's face it, seeing how the fight went, I mean, it's not inconceivable that Alexander Gustafsson could beat John Jones. I mean, a lot of people think he beat him, But yeah, Jones definitely needs some work. His hands, especially with his hand. Like I said, one of my friends, he did some amateur boxing, and he said, yeah, his hands are still just so rudimentary, He can get away with a lot of stuff because he's athletic and he fights long. He uses his reach well, and a lot of people can't touch him. It's really cool just seeing the guy get hit. And both the guys were bloody around rounds 4 and 5. I mean, it was a sight to see for sure. Great fight. Jones probably gets Glover Teixeira next. Gustafsson, I mean, maybe the loser of Vitor versus Dan Henderson. Maybe the loser of Chael Sonnen versus, you know what? He can get the winner or loser of these fights, actually. Chael Sonnen versus Rashad Evans also. Okay, next fight after that, Barao beat Eddie Wineland by TKO in the second round. Eddie Wineland was doing really good in the first round. He was landing some good shots. He was the busier fighter. There wasn't a lot of output from Barao in the first. I thought it would be a long night. Man, that spinning back kick came out of nowhere. It went past him a little, but it really knocked him back. And there was a follow-up punch that I think really put him out. The stoppage, I thought that Wineland could have probably took a couple more hits, but it wasn't the worst stoppage. That was pretty good. I mean, I'm not gonna complain there. That was, for fighter safety, it definitely wasn't the worst stoppage. With Wineland, I mean, he can fight the winner of Dillashaw versus a Sanchow. Michael McDonald would be a cool fight. He already fought Pickett. He already fought Jorgensen. So, there's some good fights for him with Barao. Hopefully he gets Cruz next. If not Cruz, the winner of Michael McDonald versus Uriah Faber, I guess, is next in line. Because, quite honestly, I don't really know who's next in line. Next fight after that, Brendan Schaub beat Matt Mitrione by Darce choke in the first round. Schaub wasn't afraid to stand with Mitrione. That was pretty cool. He actually hit a nice barrage, got him against cage, took him down. As Mitrione scrambled back to his feet, he locked into Darce and put him to sleep. It was a good win. It was a very solid win for Schaub, considering that he's been knocked out by guys that, like Roy Nelson's a heavy hitter. Nogueira is notoriously not a heavy hitter. Rothwell, he's a pretty heavy-handed guy, but I'd argue Mitrione's a heavier-handed guy. It looks like Schaub's kind of going the direction of using his Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu a little more in his fights, which is smart because all three of Schaub's losses have been by clean knockout, so his chin isn't the greatest. That was a slick Darce choke, despite his performance against, I just know him by Cyborg, and Mortimorsis was honestly crap. This is a good win for Schaub. I think he gets the winner of maybe someone like a Sean Jordan, especially if Jordan can get past Gabriel Gonzaga. I'd like to see him fight Pat Barry. That'd be kind of cool. Who else is in heavyweight? Schaub. Let me see. Schaub Todd Duffy is a fight I've always wanted to see, actually. I think Schaub's a little farther ahead than Todd Duffy at this point, though. So, yeah. But maybe someone a little higher up there, too. Stipe Miocic. Brendan Schaub. Good one right there, actually. Matt Mitrione, just more lower to mid-tier guys of the division. I think he's going to be a solid mid-tier guy from here on out. Nice fight with that. Francis Carmont beat Costa Philippou by unanimous decision. Not the best performance by Philippou. I expected him to be able to stuff takedowns. I'm going to be honest, I don't like that he moved out of, he's not with Cerro Longo anymore, I thought the Cerro Longo team can really help him with his wrestling and with his jiu-jitsu, and I think it's a big mistake. No offense to his current camp, I think it's a big mistake for him to, not be with that team anymore. Carmont, this guy has a couple times in a row now. He definitively won this fight, but he's not in the last 3 fights. He's kind of proven not to be the most fun fighter to watch. However, he's on a good win streak now. He needs better competition. He beat a top 10 guy. If you want to do Francis Carmont, Jacare, that could work. Though if Tim Bosch gets by CB Dalloway, Bosch versus Carmont works. You could go with Carmont versus the winner of Bisping Munoz. I don't think that works. For some reason I'm not big on that. It's not the worst matchup. I'd like to see Munoz Carmont. That'd be pretty cool. Who else is up there? Okami's up there. He's just coming off a loss. I'd like to see Okami Philippou. I think that would work. Kind of sucks because that really breaks. Philippou's 33, and unless he covers those holes in his grappling, I don't think he'll break it back into the top 10 that easy. Carmont, it's really hard to say because I don't think a better grappler. I don't think he does that to a better grappler. You know what I mean? I don't think he can take down Mike Bisping very easily. I don't know if he'd be able to do that to Munoz. I don't know if he can do that. I don't know if he can take down Luke Rockhold. That's the thing. It's just I don't know. Is Francis Carmont that good, or is he fighting guys that are susceptible to getting grinded in the way that they get grinded? It's tough to say. Because it's really hard for me to say. His striking, his kicks are pretty good. his wrestling isn't bad. You know, his wrestling's pretty good, and he's big, physical guy, but like doesn't do too much with it. So it makes me wonder if some of the better grapplers, I don't know if he can do that to Okami. You know, Okami might be able to do it to him. You know, so I'd like to see Carmont tested by a guy that can either defend the takedowns better or be able to get back to his feet better. Philippou for a while was looking like that guy that can defend takedowns and whatnot, but you know it wasn't there, man. Next fight after that, the Eagle has landed, man. Khabib Nurmagomedov beat Pat Healey by unanimous decision. One thing I gotta say about the Eagle, though, man, this guy's stand-up, despite him being a real physical guy, he's always pushing forward, always in the guy's face. His stand-up technique leads a lot of work. You do lead rear uppercuts. I know it worked on Thiago Tavares, but man, I mean, I don't think it works. You know, Pat Healey was in his face all the time. He was ducking his head down and throwing punches, you know. The thing that really saved Nurmagomedov, really, his wrestling is just it's outstanding, man. That sambo is just, he gets a clinch and you are down. I mean, Pat Healey's a grinder. And Nurmagomedov pretty much, you know, did Healey's game on Healey, you know. Take down, stay on top, punch him, wear him down, you know. I mean, I'm impressed by the guy. He still needs work on his stand-up. But I gotta say this right now. I don't know who can defend. I don't know if a lot of people, or even the elite guys, will be able to defend Khabib Nurmagomedov's takedowns. He's really big, too. You know, Pat Healey's big for the weight class. Nurmagomedov did not look small next to Healey, you know. I don't know if, you know, I just don't know if a lot of guys will be able to defend his takedowns. He's just that high level, that physical, you know, that technical. I liked what I saw from the guy, you know. If the stand-up doesn't work for him, he can always go take the fight to the ground, too. You know, I think he's going to need some top 10 guys next. You know, Rafael Dos Anjos needs an opponent. That'd be pretty cool. Josh Thompson's fighting Anthony Pettis, but, you know, maybe the loser of that fight gets Nurmagomedov, or maybe the winner of Gilbert Melendez, Diego Sanchez. Who else is in the top 10? Pat Healey, you know, he's coming off the no contest, which should be a win over Jim Miller. This is definitely a setback, but he's a tough out for anyone, man. Give him the loser of Evan Dunham versus Donald Cerrone. Just people around like that level, you know. Geez, I know I'm missing someone's Nurmagomedov. You know, if you want to do Benson Henderson, Khabib Nurmagomedov, interesting matchup as well, man. Like I said, I think the Eagle has landed here, man. He landed in the top 10. I don't know who can defend his takedowns. This guy's grappling is that good, man. His striking needs a lot of work. You know, a guy like a Pettis probably runs some circles around him, kicks him in the stomach a couple times. You know. Don't know if he can defend the takedowns that well, but, you know, like I said, I just don't know who can. That's no slight on Pettis. I just don't know if anyone in the lightweight division will really be able to defend those takedowns. He's really good at it. You know, but yeah, good one from Nurmagomedov there, man. Okay, on to the prelims. Miles Jury beat Mike Ritchie by split decision. Gotta say, there's 3 split decisions here, and I gotta say, all 3 of them, I feel that the right guy won. So, you know, Miles Jury beat Mike Ritchie. Unimpressive showing from Miles Jury, considering he beat up Randy Nijam. His performance against Michael Johnson was dominant. This was not good. Mike Ritchie, you know, the problem with him is he's a finesse fighter. He needs to get into, like, if the other guy's fighting technical with him, he can be in the fight, but when he's not, when that guy's not technical on him, you know, like a Colton Smith or something, you know, it kind of throws him off, I think. You know, this is not an impressive win for Jury. I thought he'd kind of run through Ricci, to be perfectly honest with you. He's a good wrestler, you know, stand up, still needs some work. He's still a good prospect, but like, and he got the win, and he's still undefeated, but definitely needs some work. I would honestly say, instead of moving up, just more lower to mid-tier guys of the division. Okay, next fight after that, Wilson Hayes beat Ivan Menjivar by unanimous decision. You know, Menjivar, he couldn't defend those takedowns. Hayes didn't do much when he was on top, but you know, it was a good one for Hayes, and it knocks Menjivar down from the top 10. There's not much I can really say about the fight. I don't think Wilson Hayes is going to turn out to be that great of a prospect, to be honest. It'll be a tough fight for a lot of guys, but, you know, he's beating guys like Caraway. And Menjivar's a really good win, too. That's a top 10 guy in bantamweight, you know. If they want to give him the Hugo Viana fight, they can do that. But, yeah, you know, it's a really good win for Hayes. I think he should just get more lower to mid-tier guys. Another guy you can get is Takeo Mizugaki. Wilson Hayes won't be too bad since they're both kind of off win streaks. So yeah, good win there. Next fight after that, Stephen Thompson beat Chris Clements by KO in the second round. I like what I see from Thompson. You know, he lost against Matt Brown. I predicted he would, but like Matt Brown's just the toughest dude. You know, there. You know, and Matt Brown's kind of fighting Carlos Condit next. You know, it's not a bad loss to have. Thompson's just improving. I like his hands. He's really accurate. I like his kicks. Can't see him. His grappling's improving as well. I just like what I see from the guy. There's a lot of improvement from him. He keeps his hands dangerously low, which does get him hit, but he's a really accurate puncher. I like what I'm seeing from the guy so far. Some more lower to mid-tier guys for him. Chris Clements, I think he'll probably be cut from the promotion. Next round after that, Mitch Gagnon beat Dustin Kimura by guillotine choke in the first round. Gagnon's really physical, man. Especially in the first round, he's dangerous. He throws heavy leather and heavy knees. You know, and he does have a really good ground game. All his wins are by submission, you know. Dustin Kimura was, you know, hitting good to the body. But, you know, Gagnon, like I said, he's really physical. He's always in your face. Even when he lost against, like, Brian Caraway, you know, I mean, he's just tagging the dude. I mean, Caraway's just got a hell of a chin, though. And you know, man, I think he rear naked choked him, you know. But, once Gagnon tired out. But, yeah, Gagnon's a great first-rounder. He throws a lot into his punches and whatnot. His cardio's still a bit suspect, but, you know, he's a good fighter. Interesting prospect. I think he's still in his 20s. Both these guys are still interesting prospects. More lower to mid-tier guys for these, for both of them. On the Facebook prelims, John McDessie beat Hene Forts by KO in the first round. You know, McDessie's one of those guys. He gets a win streak. He lost like Njokulani. He lost to Dennis Holman. You still got to see his ground game tested. In the stand-up, he seems to be able to beat a lot of guys in stand-up. He has a really good jab. His hands are actually really good. Despite having that Taekwondo background, you know, he does have really good kicks, but, you know, I like what I see from his hands. You know, but, yeah, I'd like to see a guy that would try and take him down more. Especially, like, maybe in his next fight. Just trying to think of guys that are, like, more takedown-oriented. Tough to say. Man, I can't really think right now of. I just want to say like a mid-level lightweight wrestler, really. Can't really think of one right now though. But yeah, that's who you should get next. And Forge, you know, I think he's just one of those guys that's like average to good in every aspect of MMA, but not great anywhere. If he stays with the organization, just more lower to mid-tier guys. Okay, next fight after that, Michal Prazeres beat Jesse Bronson by split decision. You know, the start of the fight really was the takedowns and top control from Prazeres. In the first round, he dominated. Second round, it was a little tougher. In the third round, Jesse Bronson was getting the better stand-up. Prazeres was telegraphing the shots. You know, Prazeres his cardio's a bit suspect, but he's a bull about getting takedowns, man. You know, that's the thing. All I can really say though is like just more lower to mid-tier guys of the division for him. Bronson, he's a good prospect. Just more lower to mid-tier guys for him as well. Next fight after that, really fun fight as Alex Caceres beat Roland Delorme by split decision. You know, I really am impressed with Alex Caceres' improvement. You know, he definitely is turning out to be a solid prospect in the division. His stand-up's really improved. His movement was good. He's in and out. I liked what I saw from the guy. He's a great scrambler too, you know. With him, maybe give him something like a Caraway or something like that. Keep mentioning that guy for some reason. I can't really think of too many mid-tier bantamweights that he can fight. I mean, if you want to do Mitch Gagnon versus Alex Caceres, that makes sense as well. Roland Delorme, he's a good ground guy, you know, just more lower to mid-tier guys in the division for him. And finally, Daniel Omelanzuk beat Nandor Gomino by KO. This is one of those, this is like Nikita Krylov, Sal Falele, man. These guys are not UFC caliber heavyweights. It's cool seeing the knockout. Nandor's got a cool name. I don't think much about these guys. If Nandor stays in the organization, just more lower to mid-tier guys in the division. Same with Daniel. Yeah, that's pretty much it for my post-fight analysis for UFC 165. If you have any comments, just leave them below. And that's it for MMA for you. Thank you guys very much.